Remember these? The simple, small, and stunning campervans that used to be the dream adventure vehicles during the 70s and 90s. And they were so affordable that for the first time, even young families could afford the camper lifestyle without breaking their budgets. They were easy to drive and small enough to park anywhere. So, if everyone loved them, where did they all go? Why did the small, affordable campervan suddenly disappear? The current campervan industry is filled with modern, huge, and high-tech RVs that promise innovation, luxury, and tech revolution. But at the same time, they bring a huge price. Finding a good, affordable campervan in 2025 isn't a normal plan anymore. It has become a complex task that requires too much research and unnecessary compromises. But this wasn't the case before. Going back to the period of the 70s to the 90s, this was the era of the small, affordable campervans that changed the RV industry forever. Companies like Volkswagen, Winnebago, and Toyota identified the huge demand for entry-level campervans that were cheap, easy to drive, and super easy to park. To fulfill this demand, they started manufacturing affordable campervans that allowed even the middle class to get a campervan and enjoy the camper lifestyle that was once considered only for the rich. This was complemented even further by the hippie culture and the off-road dream that almost everyone had. Let's now look at some of the most amazing small, affordable campervans during that period that fulfilled that camper lifestyle dream of every American.
Motorhome luxury.
One of the first companies to identify the demand for small, affordable campervans was National RV, which, in response to the customers' needs, brought this iconic Toyota Dolphin RV in 1976 and 77. This micro-mini campervan could be bought at a price range of $15,000 to $20,000 in the early 80s, now equivalent to around $45,000 to $60,000. Built on the well-trusted Toyota pickup truck chassis, this small campervan offered an affordable gateway to the RV lifestyle for many. The Dolphin Micro Mini came in 4 different floor plans, with body lengths ranging from 20 to just over 20 feet. The exterior design wasn't what you'd call mind-blowing at this time. But during the early 80s, this was brilliant. The campervan came with a big cab overhead section that not just made it look huge, but also meant more living space on the interior. On the sides, you had plenty of windows, charging outlets, and a little bit of storage as well. A 22-gallon fresh water tank fill was also located on the side, offering you that off-grid freedom that was a luxury back then. From the outside, the campervan was compact, sleek, and reliable. Exactly what everyone wanted. But it was the interior that became the game changer. As soon as you stepped inside the Dolphin Micro Mini RV, you would be exposed to a very thoughtful interior layout that was functional and comfortable at the same time. Right in front of the main entrance, you had a pretty decent wet bath setup with a privacy door and lights. The kitchen was compact yet functional, including a gas stove, sink, oven, fridge, and plenty of storage. The dinette lying on the rear section was, however, very special. It not only provided eating space for up to 4 to 5 people, but it could also convert into a bed quite easily, offering additional sleeping space for the passengers. The living room had closets, hangers, windows with privacy curtains, and a very good lighting setup, making it a perfect bedroom. But what's even better was the cab overhead bunk bed that completely justified the bulky body of this mini micro campervan. Yes, it sounds quite basic by today's standards, but for the people during the early 80s, this had it all. A complete package that was affordable as well. The next small campervan on the list took this niche to a whole different level, which continues to exist today. This is the Volkswagen Westfalia T3, also known as the Vanagon, which was produced around the same time as the Toyota Dolphin RV and became one of the most iconic small campervans of its era. Volkswagen saw the immense success and hype Toyota got with their mini micro RV, and as a result, they decided to build something even better and crazier. The company kept producing the Westfalia T3 from 1979 to 1992, a period that made Volkswagen the name it is right now. The The Vanagon usually started at a price range of $18,000 to $25,000, which would be equivalent to around $50,000 to $70,000, considering inflation. This wasn't just a camper van. This was meant to be legendary. The exterior design wasn't like the Dolphin RV, which looked bulky and massive. Instead, the Vanagon came with a very sleek and minimal design that looked effortlessly elegant and stylish. The whole exterior design was quite practical too. You had a 15-gallon fresh water tank fill, a shore power outlet, a city water connection, and a good amount of storage on the sides. To make things even more interesting, a beautiful awning with support legs was there to provide you with shade during a sunny day. But that wasn't all. In terms of power, the Westfalia T3 came with a 12-volt auxiliary battery and a shore power hookup, allowing travelers to run the fridge, lights, and water pump while off-grid for short periods. Looks too good to be true in the 90s, right? Well, let's get inside because things get even more mind-blowing there. The interior of the Vanagon wasn't cramped or forcefully designed. Every inch had its purpose. At the front, you have swiveling seats in the driver's cabin along with a removable table, allowing you to convert this whole area into a lovely workspace where you can work anytime you want. The kitchen lies in the center and includes a very functional 2-burner gas stove, a small refrigerator, a sink, and lots of storage space underneath the countertop. In the Vanagon, you didn't have a conventional dinette. Instead, you had a big couch along with a flexible table that can be swiveled in front of the couch to convert this space into a dinette. And for the couch itself, it had lots of storage underneath and could be converted into a single bed almost instantly just by pulling it toward the front. Volkswagen really focused on the minute details in this mini camper van. You had shoe racks, closets, pantry, and so much more, all hidden in one or other compartments. But what wasn't hidden at all was the big pop-up roof that became an iconic design at that time. This pop-up roof design not only offered an additional sleeping space, but also carried a different kind of charm and aesthetic that couldn't be matched elsewhere. Interestingly, the Westfalia T3 didn't have an in-house bathroom, unlike the Dolphin. But where was it? Well, right at the back of the camper van, offering you exterior shower options. After all, it was about living in nature, right? Up next, we have another camper van, all the way from Japan, that beats the Volkswagen Westfalia according to many customers. It had a very special tech feature. We are talking about the Mazda Bongo Friendee, a small, affordable camper van from the Japanese domestic market that became immensely popular in the UK and the American market during the early 2000s. The starting price of this 15-foot camper van varied around $20,000 to $28,000, which would be around $38,000 to $55,000 in the current market. Unlike the Dolphin RV or the Vanagon, the exterior appearance of the Bongo was nowhere near similar to a conventional camper van. At first glance, it just looked like a regular van with a sleek and minimal front, sides, and back. However, only when you toured the van, you'd get to know what kind of beast this was. One of the most important sections of this camper was the rear, where you had 2 rear seats, similar to what you get in a regular van. But wait, this wasn't a regular van at all. With just a simple push, you could push the seats at the back row toward the front, creating a huge amount of storage space at the back. This space was so big that you could even take a bike with you on your trip. Going to the sides, you have electric privacy curtains that come down with the press of a button. Interesting, right? But wait till you see the interior features. They will blow your mind. The interior of the Mazda seems very normal and similar to a regular van layout at first glance. You have 2 chairs in the driver's cabin, 2 in the middle row, and 2 in the very last row. But this is where it gets super interesting. You can push the front seats forward and flip the cushions at their backs to create a seat on the back side of the chair as well. Not just that, you can also fold 1 seat in the middle row and it is a table now, offering you space for eating, working, or playing card games, whatever you want. But this isn't all either. You can further recline all 4 seats in the middle and the back row to convert the whole space into a spacious double bed that can sleep up to 2 people. However, what made the Bongo better than the Volkswagen was its pop-up roof that provided you extra sleeping and storage space. But the Vanagon also had it, right? Yes, but this one's electric and pops up with the press of a button. No more pushing the roof upward. This seems very basic in today's era, but during the 90s, this was a game changer. One thing to note here is that most of the Mazda campers were sold in the minivan version that did not have a kitchen or a bathroom. However, they were later converted by Japanese or British camper conversion companies such as AFT and Wellhouse, which became immensely popular among the customers. But what they loved even more than the Mazda was this classic small camper from Winnebago that took everything to the next level. This is the 1996 Winnebago Rialta that came as Winnebago's upgrade to the Volkswagen and Toyota Campervans. Measuring around 21 feet in length, the Rialta started at a price range of $40,000 to $50,000 back in 1996, which would now be equal to around $75,000 to $90,000. The Rialta is more of a mid-range compact campervan. It offered more comfort and luxury than all its competitors, making it a great hit in the American market. You know, because Americans always think bigger is better. Coming back to the vehicle, its 4 different floor plans allowed customers to choose what they needed, extending the customer reach even further. Speaking of the exterior design of the campervan, this was probably the most stylish campervan built by Winnebago during the 90s. With a slightly wider camper section as compared to the chassis, the camper looked unique and caught attention instantly. But it didn't lack practicality either. You had a beautiful full-length awning, a 20-gallon fresh water tank, shore power cord, and plenty of storage space. However, what excited the customers was its interior. Stepping inside the Rialta, you could instantly notice Winnebago's attention to detail and marvelous craftsmanship. You had a double door setup on the main entrance, which included a fly screen, keeping mosquitoes and flies at bay. Toward the front section, you had a 4-chair setup that could be transformed into a full-sized bed, offering sleeping space for a child or an adult. When not in need, you could simply be a passenger. A fully functional kitchen setup was there too, which included a 2-burner gas stove, sink, fridge, and lots of storage space. The bathroom of the Rialta was special. Usually, it was a small wet bath setup that did its job, like all the other RVs out there. However, on both sides of the compartment, you had buttons that allowed you to pull the whole bathroom towards you, extending the bathroom space significantly. Isn't that creative? The highlight of the camper was its back that consisted of a full dinette setup with 2 double-seater sofas on both sides of an adjustable table, offering dining space for up to 4 people. But what about the bedroom? Well, this is the bedroom. All you needed to do was remove the table, join the sofas, and there you go. People really loved it. Well, not just this one. During the 70s and 90s, people really loved almost all the small, affordable campervans that gave them the camper life feel they wanted. For these 2 decades, these small campervans seemed to be the perfect solution to everyone's needs. They had everything: comfort, convenience, range, affordability. But when everyone thought this was the ultimate solution, the niche collapsed. Within just a few years after the early 2000s, the small, affordable campervan niche crumbled to its knees and then disappeared. But how can something as perfect as this die so easily? Well, there were multiple reasons. The very first and probably the biggest reason was the rising costs that companies had to endure while manufacturing small campervans. This included safety costs, emission costs, and quality costs. All these elements made these affordable campervans not so affordable anymore, resulting in their disappearance. Along with companies, customers also changed, and so did their needs and demands. Customers did not want that affordable camper that did its job anymore. They wanted more comfort, more luxury, and more tech, which brought more expenses. And the rest, you know. Campervan regulations also played a very crucial role in the demise of these small, affordable campervans. During this period, the Environmental Protection Agency brought Tier 2 and Tier 3 emission standards, which included very complex rules for the small, lightweight campervans, making their survival a real challenge. And then there were people who loved to do everything on their own. They weren't satisfied with the small campervans, and it felt too limited for their families. They started converting vans into campers on their own, creating a huge competition for the campervan companies. As a result, these companies started shifting to larger motorhomes that offered more comfort and luxury. And the small, affordable campervans died. Do you think the era of the small, affordable campervans is coming again? If you're interested in more exciting small campervans, click on this video and we'll see you soon with a new luxury motorhome.